James Clem, how are you doing, brother? You doing all right?
Hey, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, we're doing good. Hope everybody out there is having a good day today. I don't even know what day is. What day is today? I don't even know.
Should be Wednesday. last
Should,
I
yeah.
The days are fading into each other. It's kind of weird. I woke up this morning. It seems like it was just the weekend. And I mentioned earlier on a prior Facebook Live is that it seems like there's one day between the weekends now. But
Absolutely long.
maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna bring in our guest now. We got great guy from the UK, Adam Nulty. He's with the Digital Dental Academy, and I am very honored that you had me do one of your webinars, and I know for the people that were watching, it was just a joke what I was doing. I mean, I wasn't really drinking whiskey and eating powdered donuts, but it sure made it look like I was. Hey, Adam, why don't you tell everybody kind of what your organization is and what the charity that you were running for? Let us know about that.
Okay. Well, first of all, hi everybody. Thank you very much for having me. Both, it's an absolute honor to be chatting to both of you today. This is my sort of house. I've got a section of my house where this is all geared for me to be able to play around with designing things. But really, it's not just this. It's we've got a load of guys in the UK, and it's ended up abroad where we started going back about 3 or 4 weeks ago. The British Health Minister, he basically gave a call to arms, basically saying, if you can help with producing things, then get your minds together, get in touch. And to be honest with you, I actually don't know of any better resource than digital dentists and technicians across the world that have the best mix of knowledge of health and the ability to prototype, mass produce. And as it's turned out, the last few weeks, it's been phenomenal. We've had our own little thing, which we've been doing with the charity side to raise funds for production of visors. We've been working on ventilator parts. We're trying at the minute, actually, the biggest stumbling block is getting it across all of the regulation. So the FDA in America, the MHRA in England, we've sent that over to them for some parts for turning scuba masks to be used for CPAP with ventilators, and also for masks for staff. And I've actually sent it off to the FDA as well, so that hopefully you guys in America can use them as well. So that's all off. And how long it takes, how long's a piece of string?
You know what I love about your organization and your crazy guys that I was making fun of in my webinar? Yeah. You guys are innovative. You're constantly thinking about new ways of getting things done, and let's tweak it in this and make something better. And what a better time to have people, leaders in your organization, motivate people within your group and your circle of influence on how to get through these tough times. So what kind of things are you doing to make that happen?
Okay. So, I mean, some of the things I've tweaked myself. Some of the things are really a mix of some of the amazing stuff that's going on worldwide. Like the mask side of things, the scuba mask was actually came from an idea from a group called Isinova in Italy.
Will you show us that in the camera again, that scuba mask?
So this is actually Isinova part.
Okay.
But I've tweaked it to fit these masks, which you can get easily in the UK, because the masks that they use in Italy, you can't really get hold of that well in the UK. But this is the same thing that I designed to fit onto this, but with the adapter that, Wally Rennie, he designed for his mask, for his 3D face mask there. So this is basically the same thing, but with the adapter from this that I made, so that you can use the Roomba over here. So these clip in then, and they work as a filter over the top instead of that, so they can use, and they're a great thing because they've got valves, so it can be breathing out, or you can swap over the valve really easily so that you can use it for patients. So it's an emergency way for them to breathe in. So You know what? There's just been some amazing. It's been awe-inspiring, really, to see how many people across the world have really been putting passion into the things that they love, dentistry, the digital stuff, and mixing it together, like you say, Todd. It's just beautiful.
So, I told you, James, these guys are innovators, man. I mean, what dentist is like making mask parts and scuba gear and stuff, right?
Yeah, I was picking that up last night when I was watching some of your videos. It just really enthused me. You know, for our viewing audience, how did you get into this digital platform and use your creativity to just like go ahead of the curve?
For me personally, I think I probably got into digital backwards compared to, students that we have in the UK, well, you guys, the way that most people I seem to think get a scanner first, then they go down the road and of putting that into their implant workflow, they design their own guides. I kind of started the other way. So I started doing it with guided surgery about 9 years ago with implants, and then got into with scanners 5-6 years ago. So it's, it kind of went the other way around, really. But with the guide side back then, it was nowhere near as easy as it is now. And using Mesh Mixer and things like that over the years, you kind of had to work at it. It wasn't as easy as it is now. So, and plus as well, I've always been a geek. When I was a kid, taking apart PlayStations and soldering bits you shouldn't, all those sorts of things. I don't know, just the geek side of me, I guess.
Now, what kind of, how do you practice? Are you in an individual practice or are you in a group? Obviously we practice differently in the US, but give us a description a little bit of what you do on a daily basis.
Well, for me, it's a bit of a mix at the minute. I've got my own place that's North Manchester, and that's a 4, almost 5 surgery practice, which we've got a load of different associates. Over time, I've got the whole place, so the last 5 years, fully digital. So every room has a scanner. Yeah. It's a fully digital practice. But I think the thing for the future, what I can't wait to get back to is, which was cruelly taken away from us, was on the 21st of March, we were supposed to be launching our new clinic, me, Chris, Patrick, and Quintus, down in Harley Street in London. Oh, no. And it was everything. Prime scan, prime mill, everything fully cutting edge with big screen TVs for the education, and we couldn't open it. So as it's going, the bright side of things, because we've not quite got there yet, we're kind of using everything we're doing with this, and we've still got the ability, because we didn't quite get there, to adapt. To change the way that we're going to be using things there, to really make it a gold standard workflow place for whatever this ends up being post COVID-19, and we'll get there. The bright side of things, it'll come, and hopefully we're working on a few things in the background that's going to make it easier for hopefully UK and US to get back on track. Hopefully, so it's time. It's just time.
So what about your team members, your employees? What are you doing right now during this downtime to keep them on board and get them ready to come out of all this?
Well, for me with Berry, I don't know, do you have a furlough scheme with the government in America?
I'm not sure what you just said. What?
So in the UK, the government have supported like a furlough scheme to support employees and finance their wages while all this is going on. So that helps keep the business going. So most of our employees are on there. The dentist side of things, it's not quite as easy. So we're all coming up with ways of keeping in touch with patients digitally, virtual consults, that sort of thing. And again, do you know what? I mean, as things evolve, I think it's probably sped up the integration of all of these digital things. So I would not surprise me if even long term we have the virtual consult side of things being just a part of dentistry from now on. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're learning from this is that we're having to adapt, and there's a lot of platforms there that help with communication. I know in my practice I have patients historically that have come from other places in the world and country. And I've done a lot of virtual consultation and reviews and connecting with people, but I think using social media, particularly connecting with people with face. I like what Alex said yesterday, do videos to connect with your patients, send them little clips with your platforms to let them know that you care. And same thing with our team and fellow colleagues.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the hardest things that dentists in the UK probably have been facing is that lack of being able to connect to the patients and make sure that they're doing well, because the media can be critical of dentists sometimes. I don't know what it's like in America, but they're not exactly best friends with dentists.
We've been labeled non-essential.
Yeah,
that's what the word is now, and
pretty much the way that it's gone in the UK, I think, especially for private dentistry. So I think hopefully the workflow things that we're working on is going to help, like I said, get that back on track. But I think the bright side of doing all this side of things with the gadgets and the PPE is what I really hope, and what I think is really one of the good things that's going to come out of this is that I really hope that the public see how much dentists and technicians care to look after the patient base and make sure they're doing okay and make sure the front line's doing well. And as well, I think one of the great things is that dentists and technicians, I've never seen them work closer together than they are right now. And that's, with the DDA stuff, IDDA, that's one of the things that we really wanted to bring in years ago. And it's great to see that. It's really nice. So,
hey, Adam, you got a comment from Islam Sami Morrissey. What a great group of printers you got right there. I got to show that again. I got you full screen. Do you want to just kind of give us a review of the toys you got back there, buddy?
Yeah, I love printers. I have 3 of them, actually 4 in my office right now. And when I'm looking at your printers, I'm actually thinking that I'm in Toys for Us for dentists.
Yeah. So, the Form 2, they've always been a workhorse for me. The Asiga is bar none the most accurate printer I've ever come across. It's amazing. I do all my prototyping on there. Stuff for the PhD, that's the baby for it. The Elegoo Mars in the background, an amazingly cheap but incredible printer. It's like $250, $300.
Oh my gosh.
Remarkable way to get into 3D. Robox was a filament printer I had from years ago, and another Form 2. That's a lab scanner just in the background, one of the structure centers. But at work, I've got a Peak printer as well that I don't use enough. I've got a problem, and I'm happy to tell the world that I need help with it, and I need to stop buying printers. I'm actually embarrassed because as all this is unfolding, I've had messages from Kickstarter that I've got another 2 that they're wanting to deliver, and I don't know how I'm going to get them because my practice is closed. So I don't know where they're going to come. But we'll see. Hopefully, no more printers.
Well, we'll see about that. Printers are kind of like iPhones right now, or smartphones. It's progressing so quickly, and I'm really looking forward when we can move up and do some of that powder formed printing, where we can print any product we want. I had my first partial framework printed.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how accurate it was. And I'm just amused by the technology, but also creative. I've been doing this so many years, and I'm still this kid that's, I was excited about my first calculator I wore on my hip pocket, Hewlett Packard, and now I can use digital platforms to do almost anything I need to do in dentistry, and I want to keep going another 20 years. And I think my issue is I'm running out of time a little bit because life does pass you by quickly. But dentistry's never been better, and particularly for the creative mind, the digital platform, it's really a lot of fun.
Definitely, I agree. And do you know what the great thing is that exactly like that with social media and like what's going on now with all this stuff with the COVID-19 and the support everybody's giving each other. The social media side of things, it ties in hand with everything digitally, so people can learn from each other. Look at all the webinars, and I mean, you guys, the sites that, CADStar and Digital and, all the different platforms that are there, it's never been a better time to go out there and get the education going so that you can get back in with a bang, so that you come back in and really show everybody what you've been, making the most of your time while you've been off, I think.
So, Adam, I know all your toys are those printers back there, but sure, are you doing anything else to stay active? Reading? I don't know. What do you do over there?
Do you know what? I'm doing a PhD in England, and I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't been working on that at all the last 3 weeks. And I said I was going to because I really wanted to get cracking more on it to get it finished off a bit sooner. But I've been that busy with dealing with the Mac stuff that I've just not had a chance. But I'm spending. Do you know the nice thing is I'm lucky. I'm in a place where I've got a good house and I've got a good bit of space outside, so I can get out with the kids. And I live over in a part of England where we can go for a walk in the hill. So I mean, I've really liked having time with the kids as a positive from everything,
You got any last words for your fans out there?
Do you know what? If I was going to say anything to everybody, just keep positive. Make sure that if you aren't involving yourself, get online on wherever you can see. Obviously, you guys and with doing stuff with the IDDA things. Any way you can get online and do courses. Keep yourself going. Keep yourself positive. Make sure you look forward to going back. I think what. When all this is done, it's going to be a good time. We just need to get there. That's the main thing. Stay positive. Keep working together, and we'll do some great stuff together, definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for sharing your heart today and some of your creativity and what you're doing to give back. And we appreciate that. And it's been a blessing. Talking about the world audience, that's humbling to me to see what the internet has done. And even today, we're having people view this and view the reruns from all over the world. So you blessed us today.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you joining us on your time zone. If you don't mind, you can just go ahead and hang up, and I'll call you in just a minute. Okay, bud? Thanks.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. Okay. All right. See you later.
Have
you ever seen a group of printers like that before?
Todd, I love it. You and I know August quite well, and he's just. In fact, he did a printing workshop here at my training center last year, and I love it. I didn't realize I have 4 printers here. I mainly use the Sprint Ray Pro and the Asiga, which are doing quite well for us, and I'm totally integrated within printing in our practice, and it's a real blessing to see how Adam is using that to be productive, particularly with helping others stay protected and building that protection help for us. So I appreciate that.
I was thinking as he was showing all those printers I think of printing, and I have an Asiga as well, just like you do. Yeah. I kind of look at printing like red camera days of Sarek. It works, but there was a lot of fiddling with it and everything. And I was sitting there looking at all those printers and what he's fiddling with, all the parts to the masks and everything. And I thought, now is the time. If you're a dentist out there and you bought a printer, now's the time to go and print some things and experiment with different Z values and resins and whatever you can.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I have found in fact, I'm shooting a series on this right now on a case where I'm going from start to finish. It's a full mouth rehab, and I'm walking through every little step, and that's going to be a new channel on my site. But printing for me is pivotal, particularly with comprehensive care, because I don't do everything in the same appointment with that, particularly when we're setting up appliances and doing transitional bites. And I've been looking for pathways, and I use InLab as well, which is great for setting up the model printing. It's amazing on how accurate they're getting. In fact, in one of the research articles I presented at the CDA last year, that with appropriate scanning device and printing, it's more accurate than a PVS and a stone model.
Hey, James,
that's where we are in the industry right now, and I'm actually experiencing that, which makes me I'm kind of getting into that little dental geek spirit right now, but I'm a printer geek.
Yeah, well, we got a good question for you right now. Let me bring that back up from Islam Morsi. With your quadrant dentistry, do you print those scans to check the fit of your restorations?
Well, it depends. My bread and butter dentistry is all in one appointment. When I do more comprehensive care, I use transitional teeth. I actually machine out composite material. You have your Sarah Smart, and then you have your Tetra CAD, which are amazing. And I'm using a lot of my transitional teeth that way. I don't call them temporaries because I'm either doing surgery with it, I'm doing aesthetic makeovers, we're wanting to process things. So, I think having said that, what I'll do is I'll finish my final restorations on a printed model.
Oh, I see.
And that's where I use a lot of it. And the Sega is very accurate. It is I've tested it with stone models back and forth. That's what I do in my spare time or my playful time. And it's very accurate. So getting back to my quadrant work, if I'm doing quadrant work in one appointment, I don't print a model. I don't need it. I have the mouth. But if it's a larger case, which I do a lot of in my practice, I have probably 7 or 8 full mouth rehabs going on right now in different stages. That's where the printed model comes in really handy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to wait for the print and all the other things you have to do to it just for a quadrant set. But it may be different in different parts of the world. I mean, we've got a international group right now.
I know I've tested this particularly with both the Sega for quadrants. I can print that in 16 minutes, but by that time, I'm waiting. I don't like to wait. I don't like to run behind schedule. So, I think there's a sequence we go through when we're doing quadrants. And I love quadrants in a sense of where maybe that may be my main patient of the day, right? And that
I think we'd both agree the best model is the patient. Mouth. Yeah, the patient sitting right there. You just go try him in.
Yeah.
And so what else you got, James? We're gonna start wrapping this up and then look onto the future here.
Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I know a lot of people will make comments even with the reruns on these. So we do appreciate your comments. One of the things we want to know are thoughts and ideas. If you want to see a topic, we're staying more probably toward just the heart recovery period and the business recovery of what we're in right now. But as we move out of this, I know you and I have discussed how we want to bring in more clinical dentistry to help people. And I know you and I connected through the digital platform using the Dentsply Sharona system, which we're really fond of. I've spoken in various conventions on digital platforms to a neutral crowd, and I think there's a lot we can do to share our passion and our joy with others. And knowing you, there's no limits.
Well, Adam Nulty just...
I'm kind of the same way. So, I'm just talking with Adam today and seeing what he's doing, and I think it would be fun to connect with the world audience on a regular basis because the world is pretty small, and I've seen people come from Eastern Europe to my classes here, travel across and around the world, and they're passionate and they're excellent and they're doing things at such a high level. I want to connect the world, Todd. That part of my passion here, and I think we have a platform to do it with, is to connect the world and give back. I think I want to give back to people.
Well, I was pretty impressed just on the technical part of this. Our link was really good with him. And I think if you're an international leader in dentistry and you want to be on our little show, just contact me or James and we'll try to get you on. Yeah. We just need to make sure
they're on Facebook and we're here. We got a little time right now. Actually, yesterday I found I'm really, really busy. I was told my wife last night I felt a little pressure because I'm getting ready for the Ivoclar Zirconia webinar tomorrow. And I'm really used to presenting on platforms, but I'm controlling them. So I either use my platform at the Clem Institute online, or I'll use YouTube, or now Facebook.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of videos in my presentation. So some platforms don't handle the videos as well. They're still catching up to our technology, but we're going to get it down. And I kind of like a little pressure if it's not as long as it's measured, because I actually perform a little better under pressure. That's what I found.
There's no doubt when you got that kind of pressure at your back, you're going to move forward. So I think that's what we're doing. And
and I chose dentistry, so that adds a little bit of that anyway. But no, life is good, and I'm looking at the rosy side of it, even though we have to deal with the downside. I think developing ourselves and staying emotionally up. I know one thing that helps me stay emotionally up is to stay focused, and where you're sitting there without hope, your hope right now, even though we don't know how we're going to come back to this, is your hope is improving yourself. And that never will go away. No matter where you're at, the assets that you build yourself to present to the world will be how you bless others. And when you're blessing others, your purpose is accomplished.
I think one of the things that we're all going through right now is just that we're forced with leisure. We're forced to not do anything, and I think that's adding stress to our leisure. And it's always for alphas like we are, and any of our guests, all the alphas. We need to stay busy, and I think it's good for us to kind of slow down and be forced into leisure. And so, I'm going to be forced into riding my motorcycle here in about 30 minutes. And
I knew you were going to do that. There's a part of me that is envious of that, because I used to mountain bike a lot until I ran into hip problems, and there's nothing like wind blowing through your helmet, I should say.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly.
In Texas, you don't have to wear helmets, but you do.
No, I do. There's a thing called all the gear all the time, ATTGAT. So I wear all the gear all the time, even if it's 100 degrees outside. It's just
you got to stay safe.
Yeah, and
you better stay safe, because our profession needs you for a long time yet.
You guys will do okay without me. So I'm gonna go punch it.
Todd, it's not an option.
I think everybody needs to stay safe. Thanks to Adam Nulty.
Stay safe.
And
we're going to do this. We're going to get through this.
We're going to get through it.
Thanks a lot for watching.
Yeah, tomorrow's John Nosti and Don Bell from Ivoclar Vivadent. And then we got Friday Mark Morin and Christine Adland. So you guys stay tuned.
Oh, Mark, he's a hoot. And Christine, she's a talent. I'm really looking forward to talking to her, particularly with the practice she's built and her skill sets.
Yeah.
She's an incredible dentist and also a leader. She's a really good educator as well.
Yeah, that's why I put her right after Mark Moore, and we got to kind of balance the shows. Just kidding, Mark. Just kidding. Love you, brother. Okay. Goodbye, Facebook. Goodbye, James. See you, bye. Okay.